Kim, in one apartment, the ceiling was literally caving in. Tenants say this is not only unsafe, but these problems are impossible to ignore. Sean, this was pretty cool. People were at Presque Isle looking at the Venus transit through telescopes and solar viewers. What makes this interesting is the fact that it's so rare. 20 years of research has been done here on Presque Isle Bay. Now experts say there are brown bullhead catfish with tumors, and they're to blame for the bay being put on the federal watch list to begin with. Now, Sean, you can definitely hear the fireworks are going on. Right to the left of me is actually the grand finale right now. But for some, this day means so much more than just fireworks. That's right, Sean. Not only have a few public schools in our area closed, but also some Catholic schools as well. Now families are searching for an alternative form of education, bringing with it more students coming to tour parochial schools like this one behind me. Both District Attorney Francis Schultz and Defense Attorney Wes Rowden gave their closing statements to the jury, who is now deciding if Gary Wiley is guilty in the murders of Todd and Lori Purnett. Now, Alicia McCormick tells us she woke up from her nap to this storm. She said she had left all of her windows open while she was sleeping, and her living room is just totally flooded. Sean.
And now, Chelsea, we heard the one gentleman use the word tornado, but nothing's been confirmed at this point. However, obviously, a very, very strong storm.
Yeah, neighbors say they're just really glad that nobody was outside or nobody was hurt, but they're still waiting for emergency crews to get there. They have lost power for over an hour, so they're just hoping that all of this comes to an end soon.
For the county executive to write this letter blatantly endorsing a candidate for office, it's a clear violation of the rules. It's wrong.
County Executive Barry Grossman sent out a letter to CEOs of major companies asking them to allow employees to run for political office. In this letter, State Senator Jane Earl calls a blatant endorsement. Grossman makes positive remarks about a state Senate candidate, Democrat Sean Wiley, saying, quote, "I and others felt that Sean, because of his charismatic personality as well as his years in government service, would make him an attractive candidate." This letter sent out by the county executive has one state senator questioning its legality and another state Senate candidate asking for further investigation.
I'm sending a letter to the Attorney General asking the Attorney General to investigate it, because this is the same thing. It's been going on for 2 years in Harrisburg in different parts of the state, and if they want to use taxpayers' money for their own private political special interest purposes, there is a legal consequence.
But Grossman argues that fact. In the letter, he explains, quote, "I would be writing this letter whether Sean was a Democrat, Republican, or an independent."
It just shows how cynical we become in our society. Everybody thinks that there has to be some kind of unsavory motivation behind everything. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I don't think about party.
I heard like loud noises in my room, and I was just like, what's going on outside? I just figured it was just loud lightning. I didn't think that there's trees falling down all around my house.
The storm hit us hard, and emergency crews were scrambling to clear the roads all over the place. There have literally been dozens of reports of trees down, and here on Route 99 and 6N in Edinboro, where, as you could see, the radar turns to black.
It just came down through here, and I guess the tornado ripped through the whole side down here. I see down the other side of that cemetery, there's a big, huge tree on top of a yellow house.
This is the yellow house Swanson is referring to. Neighbors say no one was home at the time. Alicia McCormick lives next door. She tells us she woke up from a nap to the huge storm. Her house was shaking, so she went outside to get a closer look.
Try to come out my door, and there's just like this huge tree on the ground. Can't even come down the stairs, so I had to go around, and my neighbor has a tree on their house.
There was also a pine tree in McCormick's backyard that cut down a power line, leaving her with no power.
It's scary because like, what if it would have like the way it could have fallen? What if it like came through a window and someone was standing by a window? It could have hurt them. There's small children next door that could have been outside. Like anything bad could have happened. As the horn sounded, 120 runners, including myself, geared up to run a total of 4 miles. Erie's the inaugural Jog and Hog race, the first one in a national series. Cities like Nashville and Philly both put on these races. You jog, or in my case, walk, 2 miles, then scarf down 6 pepperoni balls and jog 2 miles back. Side note, 6 pepperoni balls times 4 ounces each equals 1.5 pounds of dough. This is not a diet-friendly event. But in each city, you eat a different food. So why pepperoni balls here in Erie?
My brother and I grew up in Erie, and as soon as we started this race, we thought we have to do an Erie one with pepperoni balls, because pepperoni balls is the iconic food of Erie.
So naturally, I was excited. Give me those pepperoni balls!
I was surprised people ate as many pepperoni balls as they did, and by the fourth one, I started feeling full. So I asked my photographer Sam Namey for some help. And by the last one,
I'm never eating another pepperoni ball again.
okay, so maybe that's a lie. But I made sure I paced myself because I didn't want to end up like this.
I threw up after the sixth one, but I felt a lot better after that. So, it wasn't too bad.
But taking the slow route made things difficult.
As you can see, I'm doing a really great job. There's like 3 people left, so I might be in last place. But luckily, this is the last one.
Scott Edkin was my running buddy throughout the entire race. And so what if we moseyed our way back the last 2 miles? At least we weren't dead last.
You did great. You looked strong the whole way through and finished all the pepperoni balls.
And by the looks of things, people will be running and eating for years to come.
I think this is the type of thing where if 120 people do it next year and they had a good this year and had a good time, 240 will do it next year because they'll tell everybody.
Oh, and one last thing.
Dave Belmondo, I'm gonna kill you for making me do this.
Chelsea Pompiani, Fox 66 News.